Oh, thanks for your patience, everyone. Game Maker 2D Fighters on YouTube, Ameripon, Fun Work with Hillock and Foolbox over on Twitch. You're all amazing. Thank you for being here early. And when you know that I am sick, you're all amazing. Thank you for being here and hanging out already. Woo! We're gonna dive in to some rad stuff. I'm excited. I don't know how long we're gonna go. Maybe an hour, maybe two. But yeah, as you can tell, I don't really have a voice right now. I woke up this morning, literally could not talk at all, period. It was non-vocal. And I have found a little bit of a voice. So I figure let's still do some a little bit. In case you missed it, hop into the Discord. We got a sponsor for our stream. We are sponsored by We Love Indies. And they are a really cool organization. They are devoted to helping indie developers have high-quality professional sound and audio. You all know that I kind of suck at audio. It is one of the last things I tend to think about. And having this as a resource is already being a very big game changer for me. So you can go on. The link is in the Discord. I'll throw the link in chat as well. Click on there, get, audio is very important, Foolbox. Yes, 100%. Go make an account on there. You'll get free access to thousands of sound effects, songs, audio of all sorts. Really good interface. I was playing around with it earlier today. You can kind of categorize things into different groups, attach them to projects, and it's completely free for all of your prototypes and demos. Definitely go check them out. It's very rad. We started using it for the jumping game, for tentatively called Rescue, by the way. We'll see if that sticks around. I'm calling it Rescue for now. And it's awesome to have these soundtracks, these high-quality professional assets to kind of be pairing with the gameplay and with different visual styles. As WifeQuest and I are exploring what type of illustration style is this game going to have, really, really cool to have that to pair together. So do yourselves a favor, bring audio in earlier into the process. Do not follow my example. Do what I say, not what I have done in the past. Do what I am doing right now. Foolbox, especially if you want people to play your game on stream, read the license so your fans don't get copyright strikes. Yes, 100%. That is a huge part of making something that's streamable. Are they going to get in trouble if they stream it? If so, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you've even left the stable. Straight to the glue factory. All right. Yesterday we played Tiny Rogues. We played Tiny Rogues yesterday, and that was fun. And I got thinking when I was looking through the library of what's something simple I can play today that doesn't require a ton of brain power, but will still be kind of interesting. And then I saw a cute little game that I thought, this is perfect. It will fit our time constraints perfectly. I don't have to talk a ton. And it will be inspiring for all of the indie devs out there to show how a simple concept can be really engaging if you do it right. And that simplicity can mean high amount of sales. It doesn't have to be that you're building an MMO. You can build something that is easy to build, and if you do it in an interesting way, you can find success. So we're going to dive into a very, very great little game called, let me bring up the thing here, Talented. I'm glad they're not the sponsor of today's stream. This would be embarrassing. I actually went through and made sure the audio levels were all right. I've been leveling up my game and then kind of bungle it up right now. It's perfect. There we go. So if you're unfamiliar with Talented, it's very rad. Fine Work with Hillock on Twitch. If you want to make your own songs, you can always try Soundtrap. It's a web browser DAW, free for all. For sound effects, I would recommend something like BFX. Those are things that I need to start looking into because I need to get to the point where I can produce my own audio, and so I have ownership rights. And also so that I can understand how do I actually, lead a team to create something. So it's definitely been on my list of things to do. I've also got a billion other things to do, and so this resource is really, really helpful. I'm going to check those out too. Fine Work with a Hellhawk. Actually, Fine Work, would you mind throwing links to those in the resources channel in Discord? Because I know you're in there a lot. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be very helpful for me. If not, don't worry about it. I will go back in after the stream and throw them in there. That'd be super helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Fine Work with Hellhawk. Thank you. Down V, what's up? Fullbox, for sound effects, there's also chip tone. And see, that's something I haven't even heard of either. I have no idea what chip tone is. I think it's made by the people that made BFXer. So are these tools to like create your own things? Tools to create assets, or are they libraries of assets? So this is talented. You pick a character here, and we're gonna go with the summoner. Let's go warrior. Foolbox says, yeah, it's like a random sound generator that you can tweak. Oh, interesting. Very cool. And you retain creation rights to it and everything? That sounds kind of intense. So, you do? Wow. That's very cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. Thank you. Talented is a pretty simple game. We're going to start fairly slow here. And I'll ignore all this sort of stuff. We'll just dive in. This is Talented. This is the entire game. You swing your sword in different directions, depending on which class you picked, and you stop bad guys from reaching you. You have an ability, which you can use in your toolbar. Look, I threw an axe. This is the game. This is it. If you look at this, and you tell me you can't build this, then I'm going to say you have a self-esteem issue. And that your problem is not being able to build games. This is dead simple. You can do this. I did this. I did this as a master copy for myself. I did it in like 2 hours, and that was a month ago when I was way worse at developing than I am right now. The hook in this game is that after you beat a round, you get a talent tree. This talent tree is specific to each class, yet also randomized. So, what you are seeing here is the unique generated talent tree for this run. You see, we only see a small amount of this. We're going to get some parry chance, so if somebody does hit us, it's potentially not going to hurt. And then we kind of found this thing way up here, this epic node. Increases health points by 10. If you have 100 or more max HP, your health regeneration heals you for double. So this is going like full tank mode? Sure, that sounds kind of fun. Let's go for it. So I'm going to go for this crit chance up, not because I really want crit chance, but because I'm going to try and build my way up to this. And that's the game. You have now seen everything that Talented has to offer. Making the random generated skill tree is a little harder. It is. Especially that incarnation that we just saw. The thing is, that's not where they started. They started with everything, I believe, just on a simple grid. And as they playtested the game, they started kind of refining it and making the spacing a little more wacky and making stuff feel a little bit more even. They brought in the fog of war. That wasn't a part of the original implementation. So, like, you don't have to start at done. You start at where you start. I'm convinced anyone could build this. Like, I built this. If I can do it, all of you guys can, because you're all better than I am at coding. Let's get some more attack speed. That sounds good. And then we go to the next night. This game has made gangbusters. Hold on. Let me look at how much money this has actually made. Because I know it went semi-viral. Okay, so it's got a price tag of $3. It's made about, according to videogameinsights.com, about $16,000 in revenue. I bet people in chat right now could build this, maybe sans the art and audio, but could build this in a matter of probably, what, a week? Seeing how fast you guys run circles around me when I'm coding? And then there's all the refinement and everything that goes into it, but like, this is a simple concept executed on well that anybody could have done. The only difference is that these people did it, and they did it to a good degree of quality. Don't want to rip off an already existing game. No, of course not. The point is not to rip off. The point is to say, this is even like higher quality than what you should be aiming for as a beginning game developer, right? All this sort of stuff, it's not all that complex to build. Games like Breakout Survivors, these are the sorts of things that you should be tackling for your early projects. When people say build something simple, don't build your dream game, build something like this. Go like design a board game and then turn that board game into a video game. That's something that I've been learning about myself, is that by treating my video game designs as a board game, it simplifies the design. So it's way more easy to implement, and I don't have to get caught up in all sorts of wackiness. Agree that Game Jam games are enough to make profit. Yeah, and I don't even know if this was a Game Jam game. Do you know, like, do you have insight into the history of this Fool Box? Knowing where to focus helps a lot? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. And I can guarantee this is not the first game that these people have made, right? I mean, I guess I don't know that, but I can nearly guarantee it. There's a lot about the polish here that exists probably because of a lot of learned mistakes from previous projects, which is all the more reason to like just get started building stuff. Build low scope stuff you can iterate through quickly and learn from really quickly. Looks a lot like a mechanic that would be forced from a game jam. I could see that. Yeah. And that's why I even asked, because like it's totally plausible to me that this makes way more sense to have been a game jam than Hollow Knight does, right? And so like they do little things to make it a little bit tighter. Like they've got the combo meter in the bottom where the more things you kill in a row without getting hit, the more experience that you get. But like at the end of the day, this is really not incredibly complex. The cool thing is just this talent tree. And that would take some more time, but all of you guys would be able to do that. Well, multiple different pixel sizes giving me shivers though. See, that's the thing. You guys might even be able to have enough taste and ability to make something better than this. I do think some big lessons to be learned from this are that they built it and they released it. And that's a big deal. Tons of times we get caught up in making something perfect and it doesn't end up getting released. I know that's happened to me any number of times. This got made. It got released. It got feedback. It got better. It's been on a lot of YouTube channels. It's been streamed by like Dolphin Chemist regularly and lots of other roguelike streamers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually really shocked that their revenue numbers are as low as they are, because I know it's gotten quite a lot of publicity from not like, Ludwig, but from people that have thousands of viewers live or dozens of thousands of views on YouTube. Just release. This is the key word. Absolutely. Absolutely. Release. Now, don't turn into a content mill where everything you release doesn't have any sort of heart or soul, because people will pick up on that immediately. But for sure, build, release, share your progress. I'm a soulless game jam addict. I actually found, hold on, Ameripon, I found a YouTube channel that was literally all about that. And he's doing very well for himself. Well, I don't know. He's doing well for himself in terms of views. I can't speak to monetarily what he does. Hold on, let me try and find this guy. It's not Thomas Stewart, not Thomas Brush. Not Brian. Is it MZF? Yeah, this guy. Not Vimlark. Although Vimlark is another good example. That guy, MZF. He does all sorts of shorts content and long-form content based off of just game jams that he does. And that's like his whole thing. And I don't think he wants it to be his whole thing. I definitely get the feeling he wants to be doing more long-term game dev stuff. But he's shown that there's a big crew of people that are like really interested in that sort of thing. And I don't think it would be a bad idea for someone to try and kind of build into that, especially in this market where it's so hard for juniors to get work. I was looking at Amir Satvat's, I think I'm saying his name correctly, statistics that he pulled for the games industry over on LinkedIn. And he said the success rate of juniors getting jobs right now is like 3%. And he suspects it'll get up to about 30% by the end of the year. But still, that's pretty rough. But by doing game jams, you get networked with so many people. And a lot of them are going to be beginners, but some of those beginners might get jobs and then might provide referrals. And then the better you get at them, probably the more likely you are to get patched into teams of people who like do this full-time professionally, whether it's for an indie studio or elsewise. Because a lot of professionals do game jams. Just finished another game jam yesterday. Nice. Ameripon, very cool. Foolbox, I've seen some of his videos. I think he doesn't sleep. Yeah, once again, we can have this discussion all the time of how do you balance things and how do you not allow projections of what other people are accomplishing to determine your like self-worth and what you should or should not be doing. It is a very, very tricky slope that is made even harder with the internet. So definitely don't, like, say, this person does it, I should be able to. But as with all things, as with all good critique and everything, just analyze the principles behind what works. And then once you understand what the principles behind what works and what doesn't work, then you can leverage that for your own self according to your own context. Next one is coming up in 2 days, Ameripon. Is this your VR game jam? And I agree with fine work with Hillock. Definitely show us. I think I actually saw it though, because I follow you on itch. Is it the sheeple one? Next one is the VR game jam. Nice, very cool. I hope you share a lot about that because that's something I'm very curious about and terrified of at the same time. When you parry or take damage from an enemy, you gain 50% of the experience you would have received for killing them. That sounds good. I like the idea of kind of building into a very tanky build. We've got this stone skin epic where we want to have a ton of health. And we also want... And so if we're going for a lot of health, it makes sense to also then get a lot of parry chance. Parry just means if something hits you, it doesn't hurt you. It dies, or it doesn't die, it gets knocked back. Oh! If you parry an enemy, you gain 50... So that means if you parry them, they get pushed back, you gain 50% of that experience, and then you can kill them and get 100% of the experience. So you could theoretically get more experience per thing? That's interesting. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah. Very cool. Thank you for sharing the link. I admit, I did not know what to think of the game from a thematic perspective. I could not understand what message it was trying to convey. The best I could maybe think of was politics has become insanity, just in general. I don't know, though. The theme was, you shouldn't be here. Okay. So, okay. And so hence the, like, title screen of if you don't like this game, maybe that's exactly why you should be playing it. Is that what that was about? Yeah, thanks for sharing the link. All right, feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty strong here. We're not really getting to the point where anyone is hitting us. We've got a lot of attack speed, which is good. Attack speed is super crucial. Let's get damage up. Some more attack speed. We've got another active ability. Use all remaining rage, which you build up over time by smacking things with a stick, to get your parry chance to 100%. Okay, let's do that. Let's beeline over to that. And then we got this rare. Each combo level grants an additional 5% experience gain. Okay. Both of those are things we should be doing. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm still working on the jumping game. I went in and played around a bit with the platforming last night and started to work on the collision detection, which kills me that I have to do. I don't know why. This just, once again, this feels like one of those things that should be prefabbed. But we're making progress. After this stream today, I plan to make a lot of progress. We're still trying to hit our release date for that demo. So, got a lot of work to get done before then. But I think it's achievable based on the roadmap I've laid out for myself. The sickness is rough. But the cool thing is, I'm a lot more excited to work on that than I was about anything in my, fancy product designer job. So when I'm sick, I don't, just drag my heels all the way, right? I can actually throw myself into it and be excited about it, so it's less draining. So I feel like I'm still recovering, even though I'm technically, quote-unquote, working. Also, we've been sharing a lot of insights that I've been having about game dev and streaming and building this organization over on LinkedIn. Wow, the music just went crazy. What the heck? Yeah, I've been sharing just random thoughts on game design, gamification, and all sorts of cool stuff. And you all know me at this point, to at least a certain degree. You understand that I am not a quote-unquote professional game designer. I have not released any games. I have not worked in a game studio. I am not what many people would say is who can be qualified. Yet, yes, exactly, Foolbox. But I have been observant of it my whole life, and I've been around it, of that sphere. I have brothers that have worked in game dev very prominently in their careers. And so it's something I've been aware of, and I've been just, throwing thoughts that have been coming to me on his LinkedIn posts, scheduling one a day and talking about how everyone thinks gamification is a gimmick, but that's because they think a leaderboard and badges when they think of gamification instead of the For You page for TikTok. And just throwing up random thoughts like that. And it is kind of starting to build some traction, which is really exciting. I just saw today that I have a production director at Ubisoft Montreal sign up to follow me, which is weird. And then a CFO of a gaming studio has followed me, and a couple other people in the industry are following, which means they don't want to connect because they don't know me, but they're finding value in what I am saying enough to say, sign me up for this newsletter, which is crazy. Very weird to me. Very strange experience. So the big thing that I'm learning is there is a ton of value in sharing your thoughts with people, sharing your learning process and progress, and also in bringing people together. So if you are looking for marketing as an indie dev, that's going to be my recommendation. Open up the doors. Share your process in whatever way you find accessible and you can. There's a guy I just started following on YouTube who used to be in a game dev studio, quit to go full-time on indie stuff, and he just does these weird little vlogs every now and again, and is insanely popular given the amount of effort he puts into his videos. They're literally just vlogs of him talking at a camera a lot of the times, and gets thousands of views on his stuff. And then Thomas Stewart, I'm going to throw his link in the chat as well, because I think it's helpful to see a lot of examples of what people are doing. And then Thomas Brush found his demo in one of his videos and said, this is a 10 out of 10 marketable idea. And even before there was a gameplay loop, he said, this is something that's going to be marketable to the broad public. And it won this little contest that Thomas Brush had. Hey, Nerkmind! How's it going? Thanks for coming in. I apologize you're joining us on a stream where I'm not doing any game dev and I'm sick. But we're hanging out, we're chatting indie dev while playing Talented, which is a game that anyone in this chat could make. Because I can make it. So I know all of you can make it. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, Nerdmind. How you doing? How was the rest of the stream? Brain is fried from my stream, so that's all good. Right on, man. Yeah, how are the rats and everything? How's the server view? But yeah, definitely. I mean, if you don't like streaming, you don't have to stream. If you don't like doing YouTube, you don't have to do YouTube. You just have to find where people are, where are the eyeballs, and then put your stuff in front of them. That's all you got to do for marketing. That's as simple as it is. So like for me, we're going to start multi-streaming over to LinkedIn because that's where the target audience for Fox Hollow Games is. We're trying to make games, and they need to be good games. They need to be successful. But really, our goal is not the game. Our goal is to help people, especially people who are trying to transition their careers and do something that they never would have thought to do otherwise. Where are the people that are like that? They're on LinkedIn. So we're going to start live streaming over on LinkedIn, too. As soon as I get over all this cold and everything. All is well. Networking is hard. A couple of issues here and there. Right on, man. Networking is hard. I'd say I feel for you, but I have no clue. I've never done it. Never been brave enough to try. So just respect, I guess, is all that I have to say. Also, we bought an ability on the talent tree, and I don't even know what the ability does. Like, you can see how this simple concept becomes pretty engaging. I think Retromation did like a 10-plus episode series on it, which is crazy. That dude very rarely does a series beyond a few things. And if he's doing a series on it, it's because people are watching it. That's the big thing. Hold on, let me. I want to see how much did he actually do on this? Okay, 5 videos. 5 videos. So not as long as I thought it was, but still, not bad for something that probably is getting done in people's downtime. Fine work with Hillock. Okay, what is this ability we bought? Shake the earth, knocking back all surrounding enemies and applying wounded to them. Wounded doubles damage taken. Wow, so we are getting very defensive. How much health do we have? 75? I'm looking for more health nodes. We want to get to 100 to unlock our epic that we bought. Right now, this is just dead weight until we get to 100 health. Some more health. Cool. Oh, we've got another epic up here. Reroll all nearby unlearned common talents into rare talents? Whoa, that's crazy. So these are the common talents. They're good things, like attack speed up, gain health. Good stuff. But then the rare talents are the things like, once per night, if you reach maximum rage, your size and range is increased by 12%. That's crazy. So getting just like 1 billion of those all next to each other? That's pretty intense. Yeah, I think a lot of the times I'm on like the game dev subreddit and everything in indie devs. And I think a lot of people just freak out when they hear the word marketing because it's something that a lot of us tend to not be concerned about because we're creatives. If you're creatives, odds are decent you're some type of neurodivergent. I'm afraid to tell you. If you don't know what you are yet, there's a chance you may not be neurodivergent. Statistically speaking, very high chance. Very high chance that there's something neurodivergent about you. Marketing is a social skill, which is something that neurodivergent folks tend to struggle with in general. But I think we make it harder on ourselves than it needs to be. And you don't have to do marketing online, is the other thing. You can do marketing in person. You can host a game design workshop at your local library. And as a part of that, you tell people about your indie dev studio and about your cool new release that you've got coming up. Do you think people in that go to a game design workshop wouldn't also be interested in following up on you? And when you build a deep personal connection through an in-person event like that, you think the amount of people that are not going to click through and like follow up are going to be reasonable? It's going to be a lot. I'm trying to do it myself right now. Posted about this on LinkedIn today of Gary Vee saying the Taylor Swift strategy is someone says, "Hey, Taylor Swift, can you come play at my wedding?" She says yes. And she goes and spends an hour and a half at some random person's wedding, doesn't get paid nearly anything for it, and leaves. That is not worth her time. However, that gives her social clout and accessibility that maintains her in the focus for people at large. Where are the eyes? Right? So spend your time inefficiently. Spend your time with people. Want attack damage for every 25 max health points you have? Yes. We go from 11 up to 14. Nice. GameMaker 2D Fighters says on YouTube, Supernova just put a 3-month-long Metroidvania game jam alongside with the month-long. I'm going to do both the Metroidvania survival game, small scope, and what you plan for this game jam, I'm going to move to the 3-month. Oh, very cool, dude. That sounds great. I love the planning there. I love the strategy. That's great. That sounds a lot more reasonable for your scope, too. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, find where the people are that are going to be interested. Even though you may reach a small amount of people, those people are going to be really engaged because you've built a relationship with them. You've showed them that they are important. That's what we all need in life. The truth of the matter is, we are all more important as humans than anything else to exist. There is a part of us that feels that. And when we don't receive that, there's a dissonance. This is what corporate America is going through right now. They don't understand what they're doing. But they are treating humanity as not humanity, and they're going to pay the price. And it's going to have to swing back. There's going to be a pendulum. It'll swing back. It'll get there eventually. I have no idea when, but it'll get there. But the more you can show people that you value them and that they are people, the more engendered they're going to be for you. Point in case, look at this channel. We have some of the most outrageous engagement numbers that, like, I have ever seen on a channel, especially of our size. That's the crazy thing. Our size, we should be having maybe 1 to 2 people tuning in every day. Instead, we have between like 5 and 15. In fact, 5 is really low today, probably because I'm sick and not doing game dev. So, and our Discord is crazy active. Our YouTube our comments are very active. Thank you to everyone who's participating in that, by the way. I get notifications from vidIQ of how terrible our videos are and how everyone loves them. How it doesn't perform well on the algorithm, and lots of people are not watching them. But the people that watch it are very, very outstandingly engaged. And you never know where that's going to go. I just got someone reach out to my email inbox this morning asking for a range to take a contract for building a simple game for them. And that came from a human connection. So invest in connections. Go where people are, show them you care about them, and the rest will take care of itself. 2D Fighters on YouTube. This allows me to work on combat and art for this month. Nice. So do you have everything that you need for the survival that you're going to be building this month then? As far as like development goes then? Oh wait, work on combat. That probably includes the enemies, right? Taking damage with a skilled combo or higher grants 10 rage and 1 attack damage at the end of the night. That sounds right up our alley. Get some more lifesteal. That also sounds good. More health. What are we at now? 90? I need 2 more health nodes. Which is a weird thing to say. That sounds like a bad thing. If you have health nodes, go see a doctor. While you have a skilled combo, your attack speed is increased by 15%. Sure. really like another. There's one right there, but I only have one more point left for tonight. Ah, there we go. Are we at 100? Yes, good. So our stone skin is active now. Our HP regen is doubled. So now we have 11 health regen, which is crazy. Yeah, every time that I start focusing on growth eludes me. And that's happened here at Fox Hollow Games just over the past few months. It's happened in my career when I would try to get ahead at work. Excuse me. It's never worked. It's never, ever worked. And maybe it works for other people. Maybe other people have the mindset for it. I don't, though. And what I have consistently found to work is the other approach. Just caring about people and making sure they know that you care. And then the rest seems to work itself out. And you never stop working to be better. You keep improving yourself, care about people, and the rest follows. 2D Fighters will basically be what I made in the past, just way better. Nice. Very cool. Excuse me. Consistency is also something that seems to work. Consistency is absolutely key. That's right. Absolutely. If you release one video and it goes viral, and then you never do anything again, you're not going to have any long-term success. In fact, Thor talks about that a little bit. He said he got his game played by a big streamer, and it brought a huge wave of popularity for him early on, but he had no way to retain anyone. And so from that moment on, he swore he would have a way for people to stay engaged in the community and be consistent. If you consistently make bad things, you'll be consistently seen by people. Here's the thing, yeah, you consistently make bad things, and you're consistently seen. You're consistently seen. That's better than people who make one decent thing and then stop. So, ooh, we got a legendary up here. Increases your maximum health by 25, your parry chance by 10%, and your health regen rate by 30%. Wow. Break yourself on my body. Then when you make something good, there's already people to see it. 100%. So, Walk Off the Earth is a band that does a lot of covers. They're based out of Canada. And they went viral on a video they did of the whole band playing on one guitar. Not every band member playing guitars. Every band member playing one guitar. So they were all huddled around this thing, and they were playing somebody that you used to know, and it went viral. Darn it. No connection there. Bummer. But I was reading an interview years and years and years ago with their lead singer, and she said that their huge success that came after that was only possible because they had a huge library of work that people could stick around for. And, whoa, there's our growth. All right, nice. And if they didn't have this big library for people to go back into and explore, then that virality would have largely meant nothing, because they would have just seen it and then bounced. So consistency is important for a lot of reasons. Not only so that people know that they can depend on you from a relational standpoint. It's why I'm streaming right now instead of, just hanging out and coding. But it's also important so that people have stuff to retain engagement with you. If you have never read $1 Million Consulting and plan on going the independent route, you should definitely read $1 Million Consulting. He talks all about funnels and how to have a healthy business setup for your independent consulting business. And, there's a lot of business speak stuff in there, but there's also a whole lot of stuff that's really, really valuable. Game Maker 2D Fighters, just don't be the example of what not to do everyone talks about. How do you mean, 2D Fighters? Don't be the example of what not to do everyone talks about. I think there's a danger of when we start talking about stuff like this, people think, oh man, you need 5 points. Bummer. Let's grab this one. First time you take damage each night, you do not break your combo, knocking back all surrounding enemies instead and applying wounded to them. Let's get that. I think there's a danger of people saying, well, I don't want to bug people, right? I don't want to be too present. Oh, shoot, this is the last level. Darn it. That's a bummer. We're not going to be able to get our cool legendary. Bummer. So, yeah, there's a danger in being worried about, I don't want to bug people, when really, that's what the algorithm is for. Like, if your content is going to bug people, we've gotten pretty good at making sure they're not going to see it. What we're not so good at yet is making sure that you're seeing everything that could be interesting to you. That's something that discoverability is a struggle. But if you don't want something, we're definitely pretty good at stopping that. 2D fighters, don't be that guy you make so many bad games that everyone sees and they use your games and you as the example of what not to do. So my question would be, what would your example of that be? Who is that guy? Because I think, I'm going to be honest, I don't have that guy. Like, the closest thing I can think of was Yue Boll in film. When, the guy in the 90s who was really trying hard to adapt all sorts of video games into movies. And if you get put in charge of a AAA studio tomorrow, yeah, you probably don't want to take the, release a bunch of stuff and just get in front of people approach. It's a different beast. But when you're low investment, then you don't need to worry about it. Down V, I know that kind of person. I mean, I know someone like that. Okay. Who is it? Does anyone else know that? Square Enix for me? And that's the thing, right? These are not organizations that are interested in self-improvement. They may say they do, but it's not what they care about. What organizations like that care about is profit. And if that necessitates building a better game, then they will do that. But if it doesn't necessitate building a better game, then they won't do that. And that's the thing, right? Being a company, a large corporation, is a different experience from being an independent developer. Don't worry you're going to bug people. You're not. Get out there. Throw stuff in front of people. See what sticks, see what doesn't. Care about them, and keep on supporting them. You'll be fine. I saw someone on Reddit the other day saying that we're going to go with the Bandito this time. He's really weird. I haven't figured him out yet. Probably do this run, and then I'll probably have to jump off for the day. But a guy on Reddit saying 30% of games on Steam make $200,000 or more or something. And he said a lot of people view that statistic as very discouraging because it's only 30%. But really, that's a pretty big percent of games making a lot of money. And the truth of the matter is, the estimated value of the video game industry has only increased year over year since its inception. So that number is going to get better and better. But he said, if you make one game, your odds are 30%. And then if you make 2 games, you have another 30% chance. And if you make a 3rd game, you have yet another 30% chance. Now, obviously, this is not perfect math, but I like the concept. I like that it is encouraging people to say, you don't have to hinge all of your bets on one bet, right? Don't bet the farm on one horse. One game is not going to determine whether you can or cannot be a developer. Build a lot of things. Not Square, they said you will play what we make, how we want you to play, bah, ha, 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 yeah. Then people got mad that lost money, they listed Final Fantasy 15, 16, and 7 we have now. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Corporations are different. A corporation has to make money for the shareholders. You don't have to do that. As an independent developer, you don't need to do that. Especially if you have a day job, which really you should. If you have a day job, you don't need to worry so much about that. You can just make stuff that is good. And you will find the weirdos who like that particular kind of good. 30% of 14,423 is a lot of games. It is. It really is. Foolbox, don't tell me that. Don't tell you what. And of course, I'm saying, I'm speaking with a high amount of confidence, given the fact that I have yet to actually release a game. So definitely take everything that I say as just perspective and my own, angle on things. It makes sense to me, and it lines up with a lot of what I have experienced in my professional career and what I have seen other people discuss. But also, I have yet to release a game. So don't tell me I need a day job. You don't need a day job. It's just like the safer, responsibler thing to do. But all of that needs to be taken into personal context. Like, I don't have a day job right now. This is my day job. I'm doing billions of things none of you are seeing behind the scenes in order to try and make this work. So I'm definitely not following my own advice. I was kind of backed into it. It was never going to be my first choice, but for many, many reasons, my wife and I both feel like this is where I need to be. Like, we genuinely feel a divine pull in this space that we can't ignore. So we're here, and we're moving forward. We're doing what we can. But it's definitely wouldn't have been my first choice. When you collect a coin, you have a 5% chance to fire an additional bullet. That sounds good. What's this epic we're moving towards? Gain 50 gold and an additional free reroll. Yeah, sure, let's gear up for that. We'll buy that, and then we'll go down to the shop. And this is kind of the unique mechanic for the Bandito, is he gets these talent nodes that are like stores that you can spend your coins you've been earning on. Corporations have a lot of good examples and data we can use for marketing, says 2D Fighters. Absolutely. That's a double-edged sword for them. They have to invest so heavily because they cannot afford a failure, which in turn makes it even more impossible for them to have a failure. If you operate nimbly and you operate leanly, then you can afford failure. Fortune's favorite, rip everyone who works third shift to support the game dev journey. Yeah. It reminds me of programmer Jeff on Twitch. I followed him the other day. That man is a mad lad. That dude works some of the most arcane, bizarre magic with OpenGL, doing fractal, like, terrain generation and everything. Absolutely insane. Highly qualified developer. I'm sure he could get any number of positions that he wanted. Do you know what his day job is? He's the drive-through guy at McDonald's. That's his day job. And then he comes back, streams on Twitch, doing highly advanced programmatic, low-level OpenGL stuff. Blows my mind. That is a dude that is finding his own happiness. But that's the thing. You find what works for you, and you don't worry about anything else. Like, if working that drive-thru is what allows him to have the lifestyle that he wants, and he is finding a way to still stay financially solvent in old age and retirement, dude's got it figured out. That's it. He's got it more figured out than any of those billionaire CEOs that are incredibly depressed. Shoot. That's what happens to me with the Bandito. Man. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I can feel my voice drying up. coughing quite a lot. This is rad. Thanks everyone for turning out today. I know it's been a kind of weird couple of days. Rest assured, we are still working on the dog game. I'm just doing it off stream and off camera. Bow ties have not bedighted my neck in nearly a week now, which I'm deeply ashamed of, which of course I then admit to everyone. So we're still making progress. Gonna try and maybe get to do a real game dev stream tomorrow. If I follow the same path that my daughter has been taking, my voice should be a little bit back, more in control. I should have a little bit more control over my senses. And yeah, we'll pick it up again tomorrow. With that, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. I think you're all amazing gem people, and you do amazing gem things. We're going to go ahead and raid. Let's send a raid over to Oculus. Odd Oculus does some cool stuff. If you don't follow him, he's making a game in Unreal, which is basically Heroes of the Storm. That's very reductive, to put it that way, but it gets the idea across. He's taking a lot of inspiration from Heroes of the Storm and other MOBAs, and putting it in this really cool, moody space. He does all of his own music, very talented musician, all sorts of cool stuff. I'll throw the link in chat for all of you who would like to join us from the YouTubes. We're gonna throw him a quick raid. He's just barely starting. Thanks for hanging out. You're all amazing. Oh. And we'll go ahead and show our support for Oculus. We'll see you next time.